Hi everyone, welcome back to A Conscious Time. Mark Devoe, and welcome to this video on stay in the space. So this channel is all about navigating this world through the eyes of awareness, I try and bridge pragmatism with spirituality, so keeping it grounded, tangible as it were, but trying to bridge that with the high dimensions of spirituality. So this is going to be quite a spiritual talk, I'd like to think. The world is spirit manifested. I'm not going to go down the road in this video in terms of whether you believe in God or not. This is only going to make sense when you believe that you are part of God and that you're experiencing life as part of God and a spiritual dimension. If you don't believe in God, then that is another journey altogether and something that you need to figure out. So one is actually truth and one is illusion. So I'll leave it up to you to figure that out. I'm assuming you've come to this channel because you are operating the higher levels of God, spirituality, etc. But if you've landed in this channel, then we try and bridge those two to make it to help hopefully make sense. So let's just jump into it. This was I'm just going to be shooting from the hip, as it were. So it's non-scripted. This was inspired yesterday by visiting my sister and actually having a conversation with her, and then having the relatively similar conversation with my wife on the way back. So it's staying in this space, and this might resonate with some of the videos that I've put out there before, in terms of it means staying in the space of creativity versus being subject to the world. And I believe this is these videos that I'm putting out now are ever more important and applicable because of the way the world is changing so fast. So we're either going to be subject to what is going on to the world, or you're going to stay in your space of creativity and create your reality, as it were. And we're having the conversation with my sister. Basically, you've got to actually realize what you've created in your life thus far. So sometimes it can be positive, sometimes it can be negative. Either way, you are from a higher dimension, you are creating your life consciously or subconsciously all the time. I've mentioned this before. Neville Goddard mentions you are perfectly expressing yourself either consciously or subconsciously all the time. So this channel is very applicable because your state of awareness is ever expanding because we are eternal and there's no limit to awareness. So now your understanding of awareness is going to be and how you navigate and what resonates with what I'm saying to you is going to be based on your level of awareness. There's no right or wrong as well. So you'll take away what you will take away from this video. So staying in the space is staying in that creative space, realizing that you are actually creating the world you live, or this world, all the time. But now you've got to be conscious of what you are actually creating, and now recognize what you have created. There are quite a few variables there. So if you have to go quite in depth with spirituality, you can look at your higher self. If you believe in God, then you are always connected with God in the present moment. So you are perfectly whole in that present moment. But then there's maybe different layers. We're in a different layer of this dimension that we're in now. And so we are creating at different levels, and there are different states of awareness. So I hope this is tracking so far. So, and when I say there's different variables, what you are creating is from a higher level that you might not be conscious of. The more state of awareness you have, you might start becoming more conscious now of what you are creating in the world you live. And that can be from physical things to intangible things like peace, love, joy, etc. You've really got to wake up and become aware, awaken to the fact that you are creating these things. And you once you start to become aware, you can start experiencing this, and then you can verify these things through your own experience, dropping the doubt and actually seeing, I've actually created this in my life. So with that as a backdrop, video of staying in the space is staying in the space of creativity and not being subject to the world. So for instance, when I was chatting with my sister, hopefully this is all piecing together. You've got to see what you've created, and this is from a positive aspect. If I look at our lives, it's quite miraculous what we've created against the backdrop of the challenges that we face. Some of you out there, some other people out there are faced with great challenges. So you could say, have they created that as well? Yes, but that's a good thing, because now you can change that. So once you are aware of that, now you can start changing. But the point is to become aware of what you actually have created and actually acknowledge that. And now you're not subject to any negative aspects that come into your life, if that makes sense, especially in this time, in this world, because we're all going through great challenges. So you've got to stay in the space of creativity, not getting subject to the negativity, because now it's your choice. You can, if you want to go negative, you can. Is it going to serve you? Is it going to bring harmony? I doubt that, but you can go either way. That's the relative free will. So, and this takes discipline, it takes awareness, it takes a higher level of awareness. And that's why it's linked to, do you realize you are part of God? Do you realize the power that you have to create? And that is going to be dependent on your level of awareness, which is, again, ever expanding. So I know I'm repeating things, but I believe you cannot not repeat these things, because we've got to stay in this current time. You've got to stay in that disciplined state until it assimilates and it becomes who you are constantly. You've got to now discipline, renew your mind every day in the spirit, to stay in those higher levels, frequency, vibration, creativity, as opposed to now being subject to any great challenges that can be very it could be depressive, it could be grave challenges. But now you can actually create an alternative by staying in the Spirit, guided by the Spirit. I believe in Spirit-led, the Holy Spirit, and staying in your own power within to go, you know what, I'm not going to be subject to that negative thing that has come into my life. I'm not a subject to that. I have creative power, creative will with God to change that timeline, let's call it a timeline, to stay in those higher frequencies, dimensions, and create an alternative reality for you that benefits you, that serves you harmoniously in joy, peace, love, which is extension, and navigating through that. So that takes a level of discipline, it takes a level of awareness, and it takes a level of seeing what you've actually created. If it's positive, acknowledge these things that you've actually created. See that you've created it, either consciously or subconsciously. So I think I've covered a lot of that. I think I've covered what I wanted to speak about. And I'd love to hear from you guys what you feel you've created, what you feel you have triumphed over, or you haven't something in your life could have gravely or greatly affected you negatively, and you could have forked off one way, but you actually can look back and go, you actually forked off another direction. For myself, I know that I have definitely seen a crossroads in my journey many a times. One pivotal moment, I could see my life, my family's life going one way, and I can literally see it another way through pivotal choices and awareness of staying in that creative mode, spirit-led, and making that decision and staying there and renewing your mind daily. So I hope this makes sense. I'd love to hear from you guys what your experience, what experiences you have had, and again, dropping that doubt and actually realizing that is powerful, and you can only grow from strength to strength. So let me know if this resonates with you, if it adds value. I hope it adds value, and like and subscribe. It helps to grow. It's a small channel currently. I don't have much time to put into it. I'd love to grow to just add a little bit more value out there. Share, like, subscribe, leave your comments. Thanks a lot.